Hello, this is Sam with Bulldog Rooter, and today I'm doing a video inspection of the main sewer line for 216 West 34th Avenue. And right now we are at the end of that sewer line where it connects to the city sewer. And that's where we're seeing that water pass by, kind of in the top part of the screen there. The camera is actually kind of upside down in the line right now. So that's the sewer trough, and then this is your guys' hub connection. It's just the connection to the sewer. We're looking at a 6-inch tile pipe connection right here. Tile pipe is, that's pretty good. The only issues I really see with tile pipe are separations, which is sort of what we're looking at right here. You can see that the top of the pipe, which is closer to the bottom in the middle of the screen, there's a little lip, and that would be kind of what a separation is. They kind of put it offset a little bit. What'll happen is the tile pipe usually comes in like 2 to 5 foot sections, and over time these sections will sort of settle on the ground and become offset like that. That's what we're looking at right now. So start to pull back here, and we're going to explain kind of the condition of this line and what's going on with it. I was here about 2 months ago to get it cabled out because it backed up, and here I am again today. We're putting a camera inside of it to figure out why this thing's backing up so much. So, as far as that separation goes, it's not really obstructing the flow of water at all, so it doesn't really seem like an issue. Right here, we're coming across a joint that has some roots in it. As far as root intrusions go, that's a very, very minor root intrusion. Like I said, I just cabled this out with our mainline machine, and, that seems like it cleaned it up pretty darn well. Once again, you can see a little bit of roots intrusions in that section. You can see another little separation right there. Water is actually going to be flowing towards the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and that's where the bottom of the pipe is. And it's actually going to drop off that, kind of just like a stair step down into that other section of tile pipe. So that's not really obstructing the flow of water, so there's nothing to worry about there. Looks like we got a little bit of roots in this section as well. Once again, these root intrusions look very, very minor. Most of the time you see them, they're taking up at least half of the pipe, 3/4 of the pipe. Sometimes you can't even see through them, and then you realize as you're pushing your camera through them, they're not solid, but they're definitely covering up some stuff. Those are all very minor root intrusions right there. Looks like we got a little straggler sitting at the bottom of the pipe right there. The camera's actually shifted a little bit. Bottom of the pipe is kind of back towards the top of the screen again. So it looks like we got a little bit hanging right here at this section. You can see some of these roots are just loose. They'll get washed out. It's just when we cable it out, we're not always able to, take them all back with us. So we're seeing little bits and pieces here and there. It's pretty normal to see. That spot, I would like to try and go back in and clean up a little bit better. You can see right there, it's not really separated, but we got some roots kind of in the bottom part of the screen, which is the top of the pipe. So, the main issue with roots is if you put anything that's not supposed to be in your line, or even just using it normally with, what nature provides and just toilet paper, it can get caught on these roots, and that'll kind of create blockages, make stuff slow, anything like that at all. So, just some more little bit of roots kind of sitting at the bottom of the screen right there. Right here is another section I want to go through as well. This is kind of more of a major root intrusion. You can see it's kind of taken up almost half of the pipe. Yeah, we'll go back in at the spot. I'll put my camera at the spot, put the cable at the spot, pull the camera out. We'll spin in this whole section and make sure we can get it looking a little bit better than that. But you can see there's just toilet paper stuck inside of it and other stuff. We busted a hole through it for sure, but that could have been the cause of the issue right there. It looks like there's just a little bit of stragglers left on that one too. That's more minor. It's not a big issue. Looks like we got another one here with another root ball just kind of hanging out in plain sight. And I'm going to go back through that joint as well and try and get that a little bit better. We got the majority of that out, but it's still kind of taking up about 1/4 of the pipe. So I'd say let's cut it more. Looks like that one's barely hanging on by a thread. We got just little bits and pieces right here, but it looks like we're pulling through a pretty major root intrusion. I would say this is probably the main issue you guys are having, would be this section right here. We're still in tile pipe right here. Looks like you're separated pretty badly as well. So you can see I'm kind of putting my camera up close to it. Right here in this section towards the left-hand side of the screen, you can see some roots. We go to the right-hand side, you can see the actual seam of the pipe right there. That's pretty much how all these roots are going in. They're growing around. They're getting on the spot. They're definitely obstructing the flow of water in this section. That's just going to have to get beat up more so we can kind of, you know, make sure this doesn't become a reoccurring issue. So right here we have another, it's a bigger separation, but that one stair steps down, so it's not really obstructing the flow of water, so no issue there. A little bit of roots left on the right hand side. That's not too bad. And once again, this is another separation right here. It does look like it has a little bit of lip. We kind of push a little bit closer to that. As you can see, water has to fill up to that spot to drain over it. So it is technically obstructing the flow of water, but that's still technically classified as a minor separation. It's not too big. You know, stuff's going to get caught there, maybe a little bit, but nothing too bad. It's the roots after that that are the main issue for sure. Pulling back here, and here's where we also run into another problem. So I am out, the sewer line itself is about 95 feet long, and I am out at 65 feet, which makes the section of tile about 30 feet long. And this is a connection from 4-inch tile to 4-inch Orangeburg pipe. Orangeburg is probably one of the worst sewer pipes you can have. It does work, but there are a lot of issues that go along with it. You can see right here that the tile in the Orangeburg itself, its connection just does not look good at all. There's a very large separation towards the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can see all this water in the bottom of the pipe slowly draining down. That's one of the issues right there, is the fact that this is just, it's very separated. And I believe right here, as we get a little bit closer, you can actually see that this is almost sitting in like a puddle right here, and that's probably a hole in the actual pipe. So getting away from the clay tile, now that we're getting into the Orangeburg. Orangeburg is a compressed tar paper and compressed wood pulp and tar paper sewer pipe wrapped in layers. It was put in between World War I and World War II to save up on metal. It was a lot lighter and very easy to put in back then. They didn't really think about what it would look like now. And here we are. So what goes on with Orangeburg is, as I said before, it was put in layers. Those layers will start to bulb up, just kind of like getting paper wet over time. Those bulbs will start to crack, the pipe will start to crack, and then you'll start to realize that the pipe's not necessarily a circle anymore. It will start to ovalize, and then it eventually collapses after those things start to happen. So this is just kind of the things that kind of show its age a little bit. We have a hole back there, like I showed you. I'm kind of going along this pipe a little bit. You can see, you know, it's just kind of very, very, very rough. Hard for stuff to get through. It seems like it's kind of trenched out where all this water's going. And right here, we're kind of popping down into some water. So I know the sewer line's open. We made it all the way to the end. We could see the roots that were kind of causing issues. This is leading me to believe that right here is a section that is bellied. What that means is that it's actually draining either very, very level or actually uphill. And that's why it has to hold water from this spot. So it's going downhill, and then at some point it starts to go uphill. It has to fill up water up that hill until it starts to go downhill again. So that's what we're running into in this section right here. I mean, it's a smaller belly for sure. I'd say it's holding probably about a ½ inch of water, but it's still not what you want inside of a sewer line. So those bulbs I were talking about earlier kind of almost look like ripples right there. You can see them a little bit as I pulled back. Looks like here's another Orangeburg connection right here, and we just got a large amount of roots. The pipe itself right here is ovalized. We're about 57 feet out, and this is just, it's not in very good condition at all. I mean, you can see I just dropped down into water right here. That's probably a hole inside the line. I would say about ½ an inch, 2 inch. Pipe is starting to ovalize and sort of starting to collapse in this section with all the roots right here. The Orangeburg in that spot is definitely not in good condition. So you can see some cracks right here. Looks like there's sort of more just kind of trenched out and holes inside the line. The issue is with Orangeburg, there's not a real good maintenance you can do on it. Cabling through Orangeburg hurts the pipe more. So you can see more cracks. It's kind of bulbing up on the right side a little bit. You can see how the whole pipe is just rough. Some more cracks, bulbs. It seems like the whole pipe in that section was just sort of trenched out. As far as Orangeburg goes, I have seen a lot worse. What we're looking at right there is kind of what a bulb really looks like. And I've seen pretty much the whole entire Orangeburg pipe just like all over the walls of the pipe, just bulbed out, just like that big one right there to our, be the top right-hand corner of the screen right there. More cracks and holes. My overall recommendation for this is to try and get it lined before it gets any worse. It's a technique called pipe bursting. You might be able to get that done to where you don't have to dig up the pipe, and you know, that's really going to stop all the issues. But with that one spot ovalizing and all the root intrusions and stuff, we can do more maintenance, but there's no way in telling how much longer it's going to last, just because those sections are pretty bad. Pulling back here, we're hitting about 40 feet right now. You know, means we're just over halfway through the sewer line. So you can see some cracks, you know, kind of the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It's almost just like scaling up in these places, little holes here and there. It's very, very rough on the bottom, which definitely kind of obstructs the flow of water and solids. Makes things hard to get through the sewer line. So you can see in this section right here, it's not necessarily a circle anymore. It's looking sort of like an oval. If you look at where that little connection is, just a little bit farther, I'll push my camera to it, it'd be right here where that connection is, so we'll just pull back a little bit. Now you can see it. There's a line, which kind of shows you where it's at on the right-hand corner of the screen. That is definitely ovalized in this section. You can see how it's just sort of pinching itself down a little bit. As we pull back, it slowly gets a little bit better. Definitely seeing more cracks. Right here, we switch from Orangeburg to what's called cast iron, which is inside the house. Cast iron lasts for ages. Mostly what you kind of have problems with is cracks in cast iron, you know, which means it's pretty old. It might be getting ready to break. I'm not seeing any of those yet. Other things like just really, really big rust debris and flakes getting inside of the line and stuff like that. It doesn't look too bad. It's not looking corroded. It's probably where a toilet or something upstairs ties in right there. And another something tying in right there to our right as well. So as far as the cast iron goes, you know, it looks just fine. The main issue seems to be that Orangeburg in the outside of the house on the property, and the tile pipe inside the street. So right here, we are pulling outside of the clean out. Here's a little picture of the clean out, which is you guys' basement. And that will conclude our video inspection. Thank you.